It's one thing to talk the talk, but it's another thing to walk the walk. You can't just talk the talk, you have to walk the walk. That means taking action. And in order to do that, the first key is to break things down step by step. So if you want to become more consistent with taking action, you have to first break things down step by step. Think about it. How do you finish a book? One page at a time. How do you complete a marathon? One step at a time. How do you build a brick wall? One brick at a time. So if you have a plan, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, if you have high aspirations, you want to break things down step by step. So you have your major goal, you have your major dream, but along the way, as you're making your plan, you should have minor goals, minor steps that will lead to the major result. That's what it's about. First thing, you have to break things down step by step. Sometimes when we want to take action, we want to strive towards our next goal or our next dream or our next vision that we have. Sometimes we are overwhelmed by how much we have to do, how much energy, how much effort, how much attention, focus, and discipline that it will take to accomplish that endeavor. So one way to prevent you from being overwhelmed and procrastinating and thinking that you have so much to do is by just breaking things down step by step. If you're enjoying the video thus far, like, comment, share, subscribe. Send this to somebody that you know needs to hear it. I am Big Game Chain. You know the name, the most authentic in the game. And this is how you start taking action. Number one, you have to break things down step by step. Number two, make a to-do list. So if you are waking up in the morning, the first thing you do is check your phone, check social media. That's not always a recipe for success. When you have a to-do list, the first thing that you do when you wake up, you check that to-do list, you start taking action. You start taking action early. And we know that the law of momentum is true. We know that an object in motion stays in motion. So once you start, that domino effect will continue. Once you start taking action, once you start your day off on the right foot, everything else is more likely to fall into place. So when you have a to-do list, when you have a calendar, when you have a planner, when you have an agenda, that helps keep you on track. Out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. So sometimes we may have things we want to get done, but if we don't write it down, if we don't put it on our to-do list, we may end up forgetting about it. And what should be done today ends up being put off until tomorrow. And then when tomorrow comes, the same thing repeats itself. So if you have a to-do list, it helps prevent that. It helps you take action early and be more consistent. Number three, you should surround yourself with other people who are also like-minded. Birds of a feather flock together. You can't soar with the eagles if you're hanging with the chickens. If you have a winning mentality, but the 5 people you spend the most time around have a losing mentality, then their mentality will rub off on you. So in terms of taking action, in terms of not procrastinating, in terms of being consistent, you need to hang around other individuals who are also on that same, who have that same mindset. That's very important. So the people you hang around, the people that you follow on social media, that should be sources, those people should be sources of inspiration, sources of encouragement, support, uplift. That's what it's about. There's an African proverb that says if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. In other words, teamwork makes the dream work, but you have to have the right team. You have to have the right people on your team. If you have the wrong people on your team, that will cause you to not be as successful as you can, and could cause you to not take action on the things you need to take action on. Some people don't have that long-term vision. They don't have that perspective to be able to sacrifice today so that they can do what they want to do tomorrow. I believe it was Jerry Rice, famous NFL player, big-time Hall of Fame NFL wide receiver. And he said something to the effect of, you have to do something today that others won't do today, so you can do something tomorrow that others can't do tomorrow. In other words, when you sacrifice, when you put the work in today, you will have the benefit of being able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So think of that term, enjoying the fruits of your labor. In order to enjoy the fruits, you must first do what? Labor. Labor means to put in work. So what I get from that quote, what I get from that phrase is to put in work and then enjoy yourself after. Business first, pleasure second. Work hard, play hard. But some people want to play hard without putting in any work. Some people want to enjoy without putting in the work to enjoy. And sometimes that's okay, but in the long run, that can catch up to you and you won't make the progress that you want to make. Number 4, rest and take breaks when you need. So if you want to take action, you don't want to burn out. You don't want to tire yourself out to the point to where you're not going forward, but you're going backwards. For instance, if I'm working out, if I'm training a muscle, I may have a max weight that I can lift. So let's just say I can bench press 200 pounds and that's my max weight. If I try to lift 250 pounds, if I do more than I need to, that can cause injury. Or if I'm doing the 200 pounds Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday without giving myself a rest day, that can also cause an injury and that can set me back. So it's important to take rest when you need to. Just like when you're building a muscle, same can be said when you're building yourself. When you're building a muscle, you have to break it down before it can build up. You're breaking down your muscle fibers before, and in that period of rest, that's when they're building up and growing stronger and bigger. So the same thing for you. When you work hard, when you're striving towards your excellence, striving towards your goals, you have to schedule in some rest, a break. That way you don't set yourself behind. So be ambitious, continue to strive, continue to be excellent, continue to be great, continue to push yourself. But understand when you reach that limit, it's okay to rest. Sometimes we can think that rest is negative, rest is bad, but in reality, rest is good. Rest is needed. Proper rest. It's not being lazy. It's not being a procrastinator. It's understanding and taking self-inventory and being able to be self-aware enough to know when I should keep going and when I should rest. So to summarize this video, if you want to become addicted to taking action, if you want to be more consistent, there are 4 things that can help you along that journey. Number 1, breaking things down step by step. Sometimes big picture things can be overwhelming, so you have to break it down step by step. Number 2, make a to-do list. Have an agenda, have a planner, have a calendar to keep you on track, out of sight, out of mind. Number 3, surround yourself with like-minded individuals who also take action. Why? Because birds of a feather flock together. Iron sharpens iron. Teamwork makes the dream work, but you have to have the right people on your team. And number 4, last and certainly not least, you have to rest and take breaks when you need. Because just like a muscle, if you train the same muscle every single day at your maximum capacity, that can lead to injury and that can set you back and not propel you forward. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you on the next video.